Okay, I know that was a little overdramatic, but let's talk about Alan Wake 2. What's going on, guys? Joel Sage here, and I'm sad today. I'm sad because this might be the end of physical video games. So just the other day, we had the 2023 PlayStation Showcase where they showed off a bunch of cool games, some gameplay, a lot of just kind of cinematics with title cards at the end. But one of the games that they did reveal and actually show some gameplay for was Alan Wake 2. Now, personally for me, I have not played the first Alan Wake. I never got around to playing it, never had the opportunity, but it looked something that's really interesting to me. I'm really excited for the second one. I think it will be a cool new next-gen game to play, and I'm really curious about it, and I'm excited to see it. However, not long after the event, the developers came on with some FAQ questions and basically confirmed that this game will have no physical release. There will be no disc version of Alan Wake 2. It's going straight, only digital purchases. That's the only way to get the game. No pre-owned copies, no physical copies whatsoever. And they even confirmed that there are currently no plans in place to do a physical version. And they gave some reasons behind why they decided to do this, so I thought we would discuss them and break these down a little bit. One of the reasons that they gave is they said that companies are releasing all digital versions of their consoles more and more frequently now, and having only digital releases is more and more common now than it was, say, last generation. And while this is true, having a big AAA studio like this only do a digital release is pretty uncommon. Most of the time when companies do a digital only release of the game, they're typically smaller studios or indie developers that maybe don't have the budget needed to do a physical print of their game and release it. They want to keep costs down because, well, they have smaller budgets, so they distribute it digitally only. But when you're a big company like this and you have such a big budget, you can usually afford to do a physical print of your game for your customers. Even some games might release digitally at first, and then maybe a couple weeks later or down the line, it gets a physical release. A great example for this was the Metroid Prime Remastered, which released digitally the day it was announced, but then later on it got a physical release. That's how I got the game. I waited and I bought the game physically. But now you won't even have a choice as to how you purchase the game. And that's a theme that will be repeated kind of throughout this video, is the idea of choice. The ability to choose how you want to own your games, how you want to store them, how you want to maintain these things that in reality are yours. You bought the game, you own the game. At least that's how it should be. Another reason that they gave as to why they're not doing a physical release is to keep prices down. They don't want to charge more or have it be more expensive to print their game physically and sell it in stores versus having it digitally. This is why they're pricing this game at $60 and not $70. And I totally understand that it's expensive to get discs, print the discs, get the boxes, ship them out. You gotta pay for shipping and shelf space, all those kind of things. That, I understand that. However, going back to the idea of choice here, you don't even have the option to. Right now, the game will be actually more expensive on console than it will be on PC. So there's already some price difference there. So my question is, why not just have a physical version, but maybe just price it at the higher $70 mark? It's totally valid to say that having a physical game printed and sold in stores is more expensive than just distributing it through a digital storefront. And again, here we are back with the conversation of choice. Giving your customers the choice, do you want to buy it digitally or physically, I think is something that's not valued enough today. I would be totally fine if they did a physical print of the game and maybe it's just a little bit more expensive than the digital version. But for the people who are really into getting their physical games, that at least gives them the choice to decide to pick it up digitally or physically, especially for people like myself. I mean, as you can tell, I'm a big advocate here of physical games. That's how I get most of my games, especially I get a lot of my games pre-owned. And more than anything else, I think that's more of the reason behind why they're going this route, is to control how you buy their games. And this battle between control and choice is not something that's new to our industry. The easiest example, of course, is Xbox One. But when you think about it, the biggest problem people had with the Xbox One wasn't the fact that it played TV or even it had a Kinect, but it was the fact that it limited your ability to choose what you did with the things that you purchased. We all knew that that was inevitably the future of where things were going, but we weren't there yet. People weren't ready for this idea, and it got so much backlash that they changed it. This doesn't just change how you buy their games, but also where you buy their game as well. More than likely, this game will only be available on either the Xbox storefront, PlayStation storefront, or the Epic Games Store for PC. But what about places like Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, Target, all these other retailers that, you know, they sell the physical game, but they're not gonna carry a digital code for the game. That doesn't make any sense for them. And it all goes back to the idea of choice for us, the gamers. Can we choose how to buy our games and where to buy our games? And I think that's something that we valued for a while, but more and more it's become less and less of an issue, at least I think until now. Another reason they also gave is they said they don't want the game to require a download. I mean, did you forget that you're releasing your game digitally and you have to download the game to play it digitally? I think maybe they mean they don't want to have a massive patch or update down the road, but you're still gonna have to download the game because you're buying it digitally. It doesn't matter if you have a disc or not. So that reason kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You're still downloading the game. It's just whether you put in a disc first or not. It's not whether you're downloading it or whatever. And is Alan Wake 2 not releasing physically gonna be the ultimate and sudden death of physical games? No, I don't think we're gonna wake up tomorrow and physical games are just gonna be gone from existence entirely. However, I think it's easy for this to become a trend. For the most part, it's always been a physical and a digital release for games. But now having a big company like this deliberately decide not to release the game physically, I think will give other companies the okay or permission to follow suit. That is, unless we voice our opinion about this more. Gamers are always really good about telling companies when they think something is garbage. And in this case, and maybe it's just me who cares a little bit too much about this, but frankly, I think this sets a bad precedent going forward that I really do believe that left unchecked, other companies will follow suit in. We're not gonna wake up tomorrow and physical games are just gone, but maybe by the end of this generation, or maybe going into next generation. What if they release PlayStation 6 and there is no disc version and it's just all digital and you're locked in to only buying your games digitally? I think as gamers, we really need to remember the importance of choice and consumer ownership. I mean, just think back to E3 2013 when PlayStation said this.
But at PlayStation, concepts like true consumer ownership and consumer trust are central to everything we do.
And everyone applauded and everyone loved the idea of that. So let's take that and maintain that going forward. Whether that means voicing your concerns to the developers here, or maybe just not buying the games. I'm not sure what that looks like, but I think that going forward, this will become more normal if we don't stand up and stop it. I mean, look at things like microtransactions in our games. No one thought, oh, this is gonna become a normal thing. You know, it's just a whatever, may not work. But look at most games now. Most games have some sort of digital storefront for in-game purchases. And a lot of us didn't even think that that would become the norm. But again, it was left unchecked and here we are now. So I hope we can help these developers see that physical games are still important in today's industry and that gamers having the choice on how they buy your games is important. That's all I really wanted to say about this topic. I wanted to voice my opinion, get it out there. What do you guys think? Is this something that we need to watch out for? Is this a big deal? Is this not a big deal? Do you not care about physical games? Do you only buy physical games? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this topic. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Go play some games.